Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors' interest is to win the championship this season so Stephen Curry can win his 5th title. And if they win now, it could lead the Warriors to sign another star, and in that case, they would have to give up some players to convince the Miami Heat to trade for Bam Adebayo. Warriors' potential trade offer for Heat star Bam Adebayo. Adebayo will start a 3-year, $160.8 million extension in 2026-27, but he's only set to make $37 million this season, which means he's theoretically acquirable for Golden State without having to give up Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, or former Heat teammate Jimmy Butler. Here's what a potential offer from the Warriors could look like. Warriors receive Bam Adebayo. Heat receive Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield. Being able to add Adebayo to the star veteran trio of Curry, Butler, and Green would make Golden State look far more formidable and immediately increase their chances of winning a championship in the short term. The defensive front-court combination of Adebayo and Green might just be the best in the league, while their combined passing skills and the former's improving three-point shot could negate potential spacing concerns offensively. Adebayo's also young enough that he could have plenty of years as an ideal replacement for Green's defense and playmaking. He may not be the complete franchise star you want in the early post-Curry years, but you could certainly do worse, and at the very least he's a quality number 2 or 3. Steve Kerr's options are endless if his Warriors' tenure ends next year. When it happens, don't cry because it's over. Actually, that would be understandable. Words are powerful, and I am not trying to speak this into existence, I promise. But with Steve Kerr's contract expiring after the 2025-26 season, we must at least entertain the idea that 2025-26 could be Kerr's last hurrah with the Dubs. Kerr made it clear that he wants to continue coaching the Warriors, which makes sense, of course, why leave a job you're great at, but that he understands if the franchise wants to close the curtain on a historic tenure. If that does indeed happen, Kerr will have numerous options for where to turn next. He'll be able to do pretty much anything he wants in the NBA world, he's so respected around the league, and his resume is littered with championships. Steve Kerr could shake off the rust as a TV analyst. This has become the go-to move for coaches recently. Some of them are awesome, some are not quite cut out for TV. Kerr already has some experience in the field, and with the NBA's media rights changing hands, new partners would love to add Kerr. He worked as an NBA analyst and commentator for TNT in the early 2000s, so it's been a while since he's been in the booth full-time, but his wit, thoughtful nature, and conversational nature haven't changed at all. This would make sense as a next step after coaching. The Warriors have parted ways with Kevin Knox too. Having initially joined Golden State in Summer League last year, Knox was rewarded for his excellent G League form with Santa Cruz in the way of a pair of 10-day contracts and then a rest-of-season deal. The 26-year-old averaged 25.3 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 2.8 assists in 12 regular season G League games, shooting an incredible 52.7% from the floor and 44.4% from three-point range. While Knox had sparse opportunity outside garbage minutes with the main squad, he did put up 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists during the Game 5 loss in the first-round series against the Houston Rockets. There was some thought earlier in the offseason that Knox could return, with Monty Poole of NBC Sports Bay Area stating that potential in a July episode of the Dubs Talk podcast. They look at Kevin Knox and you know what they think. Otto Porter Jr., can he be that big body off the bench that can play some 4 and maybe some small ball 5 and shoot the 3 still? And so that's why, Kevin Knox has a chance to be back with his team, Poole said. In fairness, Knox's opportunity only partly came about due to the blockbuster Jimmy Butler trade in February, where the Warriors opened up multiple roster spots after dealing Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and Lindy Waters III. That suggested the likelihood of him being brought back this offseason was limited, given Golden State could go out and explore the free agency market, having done so by signing Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, and Seth Curry while re-signing Kuminga and Gary Payton too. The addition of the younger Curry brother was the final confirmation of the Warriors parting ways with Knox, given the veteran sharpshooter took over the number 31 jersey. Knox is not currently with the team in preseason, meaning it's not yet clear where or when his next NBA opportunity will arise. We have a legitimate shot. We can square up against anybody in the West. Stephen Curry believes the Warriors can still contend for a title. Curry believes the Warriors still have one last championship run left in them. There's no denying that Stephen Curry and his Golden State Warriors are nearing the curtain call. Although he's still playing at an elite level, making the All-Star and All-NBA second team at age 37, Father Time is ultimately undefeated. Until that moment comes, though, Steph is undaunted in his belief that they have what it takes to stand out in a Western Conference landscape dominated by the reigning champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the new-look Houston Rockets, which now features former league MVP and bona fide hoops legend Kevin Durant. Adebayo do Miami Heat. A legitimate shot. After a dull start to the offseason, the Warriors front office finally picked it up lately, re-signing promising forward Jonathan Kuminga and Gary Payton II, and acquiring veterans Al Horford, DeAndre Melton, and Seth Curry. We have a legitimate shot. We can square up against anybody in the West, Curry stressed. Obviously, everything has to go right health-wise. Anybody who wins a championship, that kind of is a prerequisite, and we just want to have an opportunity to show that in the playoffs. While all these players bring considerable experience and firepower to the Dubs' cause, the team's chances of scaling the NBA mountain remain in the hands of the baby-faced assassin, who averaged 24.5 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 6.0 assists last season. Curry said that having another scorer and playmaker in Butler to help shoulder the load helps, too, as he discussed the similarities between the 2022 team that won it all and this season's squad. I think there's a little similarity there, he stated. But Jimmy adds another dynamic that we didn't even have back then. So, I'm excited to kind of see it all the way through. Butler played only 30 regular season games and 11 playoff matches. Yet it was clear to everyone that his presence on the Warriors transformed them from a team struggling to make it into the play-in tournament to one that could have made a deeper postseason run had Curry not injured his hamstring in Game 1 of the second round against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Steve Kerr names the incredible Golden State Warriors player who stood out most in scrimmages. With the Jonathan Kuminga saga over, the Golden State Warriors can focus on the upcoming 2025-26 NBA season. The Golden State Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga were in a summer-long contract stalemate which finally ended as the two sides agreed to a new deal. The Warriors were able to add the final pieces of their roster, bringing in Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, and Seth Curry. The Warriors will begin their preseason schedule on October 5 against the Los Angeles Lakers. Steve Kerr says Brandon Podziemski looked more poised and more confident with his shot. Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Horford will be the Warriors' four-set starters. Buddy Hield or Brandon Podziemski could slide in as the fifth starter, as there is a case to be made for both players. Hield is the more accomplished player, but Podziemski is more of a connector on offense and has reliable three-point shooting. Podziemski should get a long look during the preseason as he has already caught the attention of head coach Steve Kerr. Everybody looked great. I mean, the guys came in and were in good shape. Warriors projected starting lineup after signing Jonathan Kuminga, Al Horford. The Golden State Warriors have filled their tool chest with weapons for the upcoming season. After signing Jonathan Kuminga, Al Horford, and Seth Curry, the Warriors have a roster designed to make the most out of the twilight of Steph Curry's career. But with all the depth on the team, how will Steve Kerr handle the starting lineup? Here's what it might look like on opening night. Warriors 2025-26 starting lineup. Golden State could have one of the oldest lineups in the NBA this season. Here's the projected starters and their respective ages. PG, Steph Curry, 37 years old. SG, Buddy Hield, 32 years old. SF, Jimmy Butler, 36 years old. PF, Draymond Green, 35 years old. C, Al Horford, 39 years old. After the Warriors signed Jonathan Kuminga to a 2-year, $48 million deal, many could expect him to start. But fans will recall he struggled to see meaningful minutes last season with Jimmy Butler taking his minutes. Kuminga will likely be one of the first off the bench along with Brandon Podziemski. The average age of this Warriors starting five is 35.8 years old, which would make them the oldest starting lineup in NBA history. Kerr and the coaching staff will need to lean on young players off the bench to provide a spark and step in when injury inevitably strikes. That's why the Kuminga signing was so important for the present and the future. Now it's just up to Golden State to prove they can contend with this veteran group. Golden State Warriors ignite trade buzz. Kuminga's potential move to Pacers shocks NBA insiders. Golden State Warriors spark trade speculation. Kuminga's potential move to Pacers excites NBA insiders. The Golden State Warriors have finally resolved their summer-long impasse with Jonathan Kuminga, the promising fifth-year combo forward. However, the recent agreement on a two-year, $48.5 million contract is merely a chapter in an ongoing narrative. Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy remains active on the Kuminga front, with his next mission likely revolving around identifying a suitable trade partner for the dynamic wing. Potential trade partners in focus. As Dunleavy surveys the landscape for potential deals, the Indiana Pacers emerge as a compelling option. Kuminga's extraordinary athleticism and two-way skill set could pique the interest of the Pacers front office, which is looking to enhance its roster. The Warriors, meanwhile, are in search of young talent to support their seasoned core, which includes Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. A proposed trade scenario could see Kuminga donning the Pacers' blue and gold in exchange for Indiana's rising star, Benedict Mathurin, along with Jarace Walker and Ben Shepherd. Such a deal would benefit both franchises significantly. For the Warriors, acquiring Mathurin would introduce a more versatile scoring option who can complement Curry's style, while Walker and Shepherd are promising prospects who have shown potential from beyond the arc. Indiana, on the other hand, would gain a player who perfectly aligns with their high-octane, fast-paced approach. Kuminga's explosive style of play would seamlessly integrate into the Pacers' offensive scheme, allowing them to further amplify their run-and-gun strategy. Mathurin's impact on the Warriors. If the trade were to materialize, Mathurin's controlled offensive production, coupled with his improving defensive skills, would give the Warriors an edge. In the 2024-25 season, he showcased his capabilities by averaging a career-high 16.1 points and 5.3 rebounds over 72 games. The former sixth overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft has already made a name for himself with standout performances, indicating he could thrive alongside Curry in various lineup setups. As discussions around this potential trade heat up, both the Warriors and Pacers have much to consider. With Kuminga's future still uncertain, the NBA landscape could shift dramatically in the coming weeks. The dialogue around these moves reflects the ever-evolving strategies teams employ to remain competitive, making the offseason as intriguing as the regular season itself.